this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have some more Valentines for you. And this one I actually used stamping. Now I didn't go to a lot of technique, but I did use stamping and layers and different things. So let me just show you what I used, and then I'll show you the cards. I don't really have a tutorial for you today because this is just very basic stamping. So the inks that I used were Jenny Bolin Cough Syrup and the Archival Black by Ranger. I used several Zig pens. I used Fuchsia, I used Candy Pink, Pure Brown, Pure Pink, Evergreen, and Pure Red. And I used them on different ones. I used different inks, but I'll kind of point those out as we go. I used from Kendra Design, I used I Heart You, and I used several different sentiments from here. I used Guess Who Loves You, My Heart Is Yours, I Adore You, not maybe all of them, but we'll see as we go through. From the Paper Studio, I used this paper. This is called Be My Valentine, and it just reminded me of vintage Valentines. And I used this black and white doodle hearts. And then also from the Paper Studio, I used that packet of holiday paper of cardstock, and I used two different colors of red. This one's a cranberry type red, and the other one was more of a true red. And on different ones, I used different cardstock. Then I used these 5 stamp sets. You may remember these if you've watched me for a while, but I got them in a haul for Christmas. My son bought each of these for me. This is from the Sweet Cheri collection, and a little cupcake. And then this one is, and these are by Imaginess. This one is an envelope, also from the Sweet Cheri. A little heart with a bow from the same collection. And then these two are from We Are Memory Keepers. This one says Cuckoo for You, and this one's called Apple of My Eye. So those were the stamps that I used. Now for these Valentines, I decided to cut out 4x4 and do 4x4 inch Valentines, which is this piece of paper. I cut it at 8 inches long by 4 inches wide and scored it in the middle to do a 4x4 inch card. And the reason that I did that is because I wanted to have an extra layer, and I wanted you to see the extra layer. I also used some of my leftover paper from K & Company from all the other projects you've been seeing. So I wanted you to really be able to see those. And then I used some white paper just for the centers. So these are the two that I did with the cupcakes. And they're the 4x4 cards, and I just stamped them with the Jenny Bolin red, and the I Adore You from the Kendra Designs, and then I used the fuchsia color to just color those in, and then 2 different colors of or 2 different types of paper from that K & Company stack. And then for the I Go Cuckoo for You, now this one was a little more difficult for me, and I just realized that one's upside down. I'll have to fix that. This one's was a little bit more difficult because these are pretty solid color stamps, and this is one stamp, and then the sentiment's a second stamp. So instead of using an ink pad on these, I actually hand colored the stamp with the Zig markers, and I used the red here and the brown and the green, and then the little legs, you can barely tell it, but it was one of the pink colors. And so when you're doing that, you color the whole stamp, and then you kind of blow on it to reactivate the ink, and then you stamp it down. And then I went back and stamped the sentiment in. I'm going to skip those because I'm going to save those for last. Then for the heart ones, I stamped the sentiments. I did two different, these were similar to each other, and I did this in the Jenny Bolin, and then I stamped the heart in red, and then I just colored it with several of the reds and pinks that coordinate with the paper. But this one, it was really my favorite. This was in true red, and I just did the heart in red and white, and then I put it with the black, and this truly was probably one of my favorites of the whole set. Definitely, there's one other I liked better, but this was a close second, and it's just red, white, and black. So simple, but so pretty, and I really like the way that turned out. Then You're the Apple of My Eye. I did a little bit differently. I did those all on red, I'll just set those down and point it down. Again, like the cookie clock one, it's one stamp. So what I did is I stamped it in red, and then I went back and I stamped the sentiment, and then I went back and stamped the hearts along the side. And then I took my stamp, and on a scratch piece of paper, I colored the green and the brown part with my markers and stamped them again. And then I cut around them, and then I glued them on so that you would have the different colors. So this is actually a layer here. And then I actually popped that up on one thickness of foam tape, and then I used that fun paper from the Paper Studio, this kind of vintagey Valentines fill. And I really like the way they turned out. But my favorites, I think, were these last two, the envelope ones. And from Candra Designs, I stamped the My Heart Is Yours, and I stamped them and the envelope in black. Now I had a little bit of problem, and I didn't get a clean image on the bottom. So I just took a pen, I have a micron pen, and I just drew that in. And then I colored them the colors, and I put ribbon behind them. Very, very simple. And I would have to say that my favorite ones were the simple, very simple ones, these right here. Now the ribbon I have here is from Really Reasonable Ribbon Company, and then this is more of the Candra design paper. So there we have some stamping. Again, not difficult. I spent a couple hours and I did all of these, if that long. I also, on these, I did the corners on opposite ends on just one side, and I did the corners on those just to add some interest to those as well. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.